Annie's going to ride Norman. Wait, say hi. Do you like riding horses? Annie loves to ride horses. Annie loves to ride horses. Up you go.
Today, Annie isn't just riding a horse, although for her, the horse is all she came for. Annie may be too young to realize it, but while she's having the time of her life riding that horsey, she's benefiting from physical and occupational therapy. This is Therapeutic Horsemanship, located in Wentzville, Missouri. And while horse therapy may be a new concept to some of you, its benefit to those with disabilities isn't.
Good girl.
We just knew that from a little experience using horses at a camp for physically disabled people, I knew that horses made people happy and they made people smile, and it moved every part of their body. So we just thought as therapists that it would really be therapeutic. And it was 30 years ago, it was just kind of the beginning of the therapeutic riding idea, and so we were at the forefront of that new kind of therapy for individuals.
Sandy Rafferty was one of the founding therapists of TH back in 1975, and since then this stable has grown into Missouri's oldest and largest equine-assisted therapy program for children and adults with physical and mental disabilities. But what does that mean? How does sitting on a horse benefit anyone physically? Well, at Therapeutic Horsemanship, they offer something called hippotherapy. Hippotherapy translates to horse therapy, or treatment with the help of a horse, and it was designed for individuals with disabilities to increase balance and control of movement on and off the horse.
The horse's movement is exactly the same as the human gait, a human walk. So once again, the up-down movement and the back and forth and the rotational component side to side moves the human pelvis just the same way that he would if he were walking, if he were standing on the ground. So through that physical input, the muscles learn and the nerve pathways learn that this is the correct movement pattern to go.
And that walking gait isn't something that you can necessarily do in regular therapy?
Correct. It's really, there's no other type of therapy that can simulate what the horse can provide through the up and down and the rotation and the back and forth and the side to side.
Therapeutic Horsemanship, its stable and administrative offices sit on 98 acres of land, and they use every bit of it. This property, which they own themselves, has 3 ponds, plenty of space for trail rides, and a large pasture area for their herd.
We have 23 horses on the property right now. We're using 19 of those. And the difference is that when we bring a horse in, we have to do a trial period to make sure that that horse fits in to the program and to the herd. So we'll start to transition those horses into the program, and we also will probably transition a few out.
In order for a horse to be transitioned into the program, they must first go through extensive training.
What we call it bomb-proofing. And there's a lot of equipment used in hippotherapy, and some of it is non-traditional therapy equipment like basketballs and rugby equipment, and there's a lot of throwing going on. There might be those, balls that light up, that you might use with a toddler or something. We use them, during the therapy session to advance motor skills. So a horse may have a flying object coming at them, and that isn't typical for a horse. So, we have to make sure that that is okay with the animal.
Barb Brown's daughter Elizabeth is almost 10 years old, and she's been riding Stony for the last 7 years.
Lift that head up. Come on, let's see those pretty eyes. There you go. Good job.
Oh, she loves it, yeah. Tell her we're coming out here to ride Stony, and she's been riding Stony all these years.
Barb explained that Elizabeth is in a wheelchair and needs assistance with whatever she does, but she believes that riding Stony has given her daughter more control over her trunk movement.
Good job. All right.
It really helps her with her walking. She has a walker that we put her in, and so she could self-propel herself if she so inclined to do. There for a while she would just stand in it, and now she's actually taking steps on her own, which I believe the horse therapy has really helped her with that. So that's a good thing.
Come up on your knees again. Come up on your feet.
Riding a horse isn't just therapy for those who struggle with mobility. Students at TH have disabilities ranging from cerebral palsy to neuromuscular diseases to autism.
A child with autism, the horse's movement helps them because the horse goes up and down and back and forth and side to side. It's constantly providing a sensory input. So it's constantly affecting the nerves in your joints and your smelling, your sensations, your tactile touch, your tactile sensation. And kids with autism are very sensory. They like to have a lot of sensory input, bouncing and squeezing of their joints and touching and movement. So the horse provides great sensory input for them.
Come on, babe.
For a 12-week session, horse therapy can cost between $300 and $500. Families can get assistance from Missouri's First Steps program, Medicaid, and since it is recognized as physical therapy, even some private insurance companies provide reimbursement. At Therapeutic Horsemanship, on average, 160 students each week are given the opportunity to move like they've never moved before.
We see increased self-esteem, unbelievable. I mean, if you can imagine what it might be like to be a child who has never walked, who has been in a wheelchair or some sort of assisted device, that gets to come out here, shed that, and sit up on a horse. And even if that horse is, even if we're talking about a pony, that child is higher than they've ever been before, other than maybe on dad's shoulders or something. But they have a totally different view of the world and what's around them.